One of Us is Next. Chapter 10. Maeve. Tuesday, March 3rd. If I text your truth or dare prompt, you have 24 hours to make a choice. I'm at Cafe Congo with a cup full of coffee that's gone ice cold because I keep rereading the About That post with the truth or dare rules. It's 3:50 on a Tuesday, which means I have a little less than 3 hours before the deadline. Not that I care, I'm not doing it, obviously. I was in the middle of that whole Simon mess, and I refuse to take part in anything that makes light of what happened. It was a tragedy, not a joke, and it's sick that somebody's trying to spin it into a fun game. I won't be Unknown's pod, and they can do whatever they want in return, because I don't have anything to hide. Plus, in the grand scheme of things, who cares about Unknown? I toggle away from About That to key contacts list in my list of phone numbers. There are 5. My parents, Bronwyn, Knox, and my oncologist. I press my fingertips against the large purple bruise on my forearm, and I can almost hear Dr. Gutierrez's voice. Early treatment is absolutely critical. That's why you're still here. I dial his number before I can think too much about it. A woman picks up almost instantly. Raymond Gutierrez's office. Hi, I have a question about diagnostics. Are you a patient of Dr. Gutierrez? Yes, I was wondering if I scrunch out of my sheet and lower my voice. Theoretically, if I wanted to get some test run to sort of check my remission status, is that the kind of thing I could do without my parents being involved if I'm not 18? The moment silent on the other. Could you tell me your name and date of birth, please? I grip the phone more tightly in my son's sweaty palm. Can you answer my question first? Parental consent is required for treatment knowledge, but if you could, I hang up. That's what I figured. I turn my arm so I can't see the bruise anymore. Last night I felt one on my upper thigh too. Just looking at them fills me with dread. Shadow falls across the table and I look up to see Lewis standing there. I'm staging an intervention, he says. I blink, confused. Lewis is entirely out of context in my mental space right now, and I have to forcibly shovel away thoughts of cancer wards and anonymous texting before I can focus on him. Even then, I'm not sure I heard right. What? Remember the outdoors you don't believe in? I'm going to prove you wrong. Let's go. He gestures towards the door, then folds his arm. After the scene with Mr. Santos and the rude kid yesterday, I kind of can't stop looking at them. Maybe Lewis could do that tell sound either 2, 3, or 20 times. He wished for a response, then sighs. Conversations usually involve more than one person, Maeve. I managed to unfreeze my tongue. Go where? Outside, Lewis says patiently, as though he's speaking to a small and not particularly small child, and not particularly smart child. Don't you have to work? Not till 5. My phone sits on the table in front of me, mocking me with its silence. Maybe if I call again, it'll be a different person with a different answer. I don't know. Come on, what do you have to lose? Lewis gives one of his megawatt smiles, and what do you know? I'm on my feet. Like I said, I have no defense against a particular demographic. What do you have in mind in this alleged outdoors? I'll show you, Lewis says, holding open the door. I look left and right when we hit the sidewalk, wondering which way we're going to walk, but Lewis pauses at the parking meter and starts unchaining bicycle leaning against it. Is that yours? I ask. No, I pick locks on random bikes for fun, Lewis says, detaching the chain and looping it beneath the bike seat. He flashes me a gram when finished. Of course it's mine. We're about a mile from where I want to take you. Okay, but I gesture at the empty space around us. I don't have a bike. I drove here. You can ride with me. He straddles the bike so he's standing in front of the seat, hands on the outer edge of the bars to hold the frame steady. Hop on. Hop where? He looks at me expectant. You mean the handlebars? Yeah, did you do that when you were a kid? Lewis asked, like he's not talking to somebody who spent most of their childhood in and out of hospitals. Sort of refreshing, especially now, but the fact remains that I don't know how to ride a bike the normal way. We're not kids, I hedge. I won't fit. Sure you will. I do this all the time with my brothers, and they're bigger than you are. With Manny? I ask, unable to keep a straight face at the mental image. Lewis laughs too. I meant the younger ones, but sure, I could haul Manny's ass if I had to. I keep hesitating, unable to picture how any of this is supposed to work, and his confident smile fades. Or we could just walk somewhere. No, this is great, I say, because Lewis with a disappointed face is just too weird. People who never get to a note are so bad at hearing it. Anyway, how hard can it be right? The saying, it's as easy as riding a bike must exist for a reason. I'll just hop on. I gaze uneasily at the handlebars, which don't strike me as having any seat-like properties, and decide there's no way I can bluff my way out of this. How do I do that exactly? Lewis slips in the coaching mode without missing a beat. Face away from me and step over the front wheel with one leg on either side, he instructs. It's a little awkward, but I do it. Put your hands behind you and grab hold of the handlebars. Brace yourself like this. His hands warm and rough, close, briefly over mine. Now, push down and lift yourself up, and yeah, he laughs, started when I rise in one fluid motion to perch on the handlebars. Even I'm not sure how I did that. You got it. Pro skills. It feels the most comfortable thing I've ever done, and it feels more than a little precarious, especially when Lewis starts pedaling. Oh my god, we're going to die! I gasp involuntarily, squeeze my eyes shut. But then Lewis's chin is on my shoulder as a cool breeze hits my face, and honestly, there are much worse ways to go. He's a fast and short cyclist, navigating at a non-stop route to the bike path behind the baby center. The path is wide and almost empty, but every once in a while, a speck appears ahead of us, and then, before I know it, Lewis has passed whoever it is. He finally slows and says, "Hang on tight, we're about to stop." I see a wrought iron gate and a wooden sign beside it that reads Bayview Arboretum. My descent is a lot less graceful, but Lewis doesn't seem to notice as he changes back to a post. "This okay?" he asks, pulling a water bottle from the bike's holder and drinking half of it in a few gulps. "I thought we could walk around for a while. It's perfect. I don't come here enough." We start down a smooth gravel-lined path with cherry blossom trees that are just starting to bloom. "I love it here," Lewis says, shading his eyes against the afternoon sun. "It's so peaceful. I come here whenever I need to think." I sneak a glance at him, all bronze-skinned and broad-shouldered, and that quick, easy smile that I never imagined. Quick, easy smile. I never imagined that Lewis was the sort of person who would go somewhere because he wanted a quiet pace to think. "What do you think about?" "Oh, Lewis says seriously. Deep, profound things about humanity and the state of the universe. I have those kind of thoughts all the time." I tilt my head at him and raise my eyebrows in a go-on gesture. He meets my eyes with a grin. "I'm not having any right now, though. Give me a minute." I smile back. It's impossible not to. "How about when you're not pondering existential crises? What sort of ordinary things you worry about?" "Staying on top of everything," he says instantly. "Like I have a full load of classes this semester, plus extra practice some because I'm trying to graduate early. I work 20 to 30 hours a week at Congo, depending on how much my parents need me. And I still play baseball every once in a while. Just pick up games with the guys from school. Nothing like the schedule I was on when I played at Bayview with Cooper. But we're trying to get a league together. Oh, and I help out with my brother's little league sometimes. It's all good, but it's a lot. Sometimes I forget how I'm supposed to be, you know? I don't know." When Lewis was at Bayview, I thought all he did was play sports and go to parties. "I have no idea how much I have no idea how much you have going on," I say. He glances towards me as we approach the rose garden. It's early in the season and most buds are just starting to open. But a few show-offs are in full bloom. Is that a polite way of saying you thought I was just a dumb jock? Of course not. I start the roses so I don't have to meet Lewis's eyes because I totally did. I always thought Lewis was a nice enough guy by Bayview athlete standards, especially when he stood by Cooper when the rest of the Cooper's friends turned on him their senior year, but not much else. He's gorgeous, obviously. He's always been that. Now he's tossing out all these hidden depths and making himself even more appealing, which is frankly a little unfair. It's not like my crush needs more encouragement. "I just didn't realize you had your life figured out already," I tell him. "I'm impressed." "I don't really. I just do stuff I like and see how it goes." "You make it sound so easy." I can't keep the wistful tone on my voice. "What about you?" Lewis asks. "What do you spend your time thinking about?" "Lately? You." The philosophical underpinning of Western civilization, obviously. Goes without saying. What else?" "Dying." I catch myself before it slips out, trying to keep the conversation a little less morbid. Maeve. I catch myself before it slips out, trying to keep the conversation a little less morbid, Maeve. Whether something horrifying is going to be texted to hundreds of my classmates in, about 2.5 hours. God, it hits me all of a sudden that Lewis has been nothing but straightforward with me, and I can't manage to tell him a single true thing. I'm too wrapped up in self-doubt and secrets. "It's not a trick question," Lewis said. I realized I've been silent all the way through the rose garden. We're in a minute meadow of wildflowers. All of my colors and single grids, and I still haven't told him what I spend my time thinking about. You can say anything. Music, cat memes, Harry Potter, empanadas. He shoots me a grin. Me. My stomach does a little flip that I try to ignore. You caught me. I was just wondering how many flowers it would take to spell your name out in rose petals across the lawn. 15, Lewis says instantly. When I give a look of wide-eyed innocence, he gives me a wide-eyed look at innocence when I snort. "What? It's a very common occurrence. The gardeners won't even let me come here during peak season." My lips twitch. "Tendis el eco por las nubes, Lewis," I say, and he smiles. Sam brushes against mine so quickly that I can't tell if it's on purpose or by accident. Then he says, "I almost asked you out last year. My entire body goes hot." And I'm positive I heard him wrong, until he adds, "Coop didn't want me to, though." My pulse starts fluttering wildly. "Cooper?" I blew out. "What the hell? My love life or a lack of thereof is none of Cooper's damn business." "Why?" Lewis laughs a little. He was being protective. Not a fan of my track record with girls when we were in school. And he didn't think I was serious about making a change. We're halfway past the wildflowers, and Lewis glances at me sideways. I was, though. My breath My breathing gets shallow. What does that mean? I could ask, I guess. It's a perfect valid question, especially since he's the one who brought it up. Or I could just say what's running through my head right now, which is, I wish you followed through. Want to try again? Said I find myself forcing out a laugh and saying, oh, well, Cooper. He always has to be everyone's dad, doesn't he? Father knows best. Then he shoves his hands into his pockets. Yeah, he says, his voice low and threaded with what almost sounds like disappointment. Yes, he does. Mom used to tell me when we were younger that I had a crush on unattainable boys because they were safe. You like to dream, not the reality, she'd say. So you can keep your distance. And I roll my eyes at her because it's not like she ever had a boyfriend back then either. But maybe she had a point, because all I can bring myself to say is, well, thanks for the intervention. You were right. I need it. Anytime, Lou says, standing like his usual carefree self, hits me with a dull certainty that if there was any chance for something to happen between us, I just let it pass. After dinner, I'm restless and anxious. There are now about 3 items on my list of things I can't stand to think about. Nosebleeds and the bruises, truth or dare prompt that's hitting its deadline in 15 minutes, and the fact that I'm an utter emotional coward. If I don't do something that at least feels productive, I'm going to crawl out on my skin. So I take out my laptop and push on my window, then plug my earbuds to my phone and call Knox. Is there a reason why you're using this voice technology? He asked by way of greeting. So this is such a disconcerting mode of communication. It's weird trying to keep a conversation rolling without nonverbal cues or spell check. Nice speaking with you too, Knox, I say drily. Sorry, but I'm on my laptop and I need my hands free. You can let the conversation lapse at any point. I type a bunch of search terms into Google and add, have you ever wondered how somebody can block their number from showing up in a text? Is that a rhetorical question, or are you going to tell me? I'm looking it up right now. I wait a few beats until my screen fills. There are 3 ways according to WikiHow. Are you sure WikiHow is the authority on the subject? It's a starting point. I clear my throat. To be honest, it's embarrassing to remember how 18 months ago I was hacking into assignments about that control panel to grab evidence the police had missed, and now I'm Googling WikiHow entries. I wish I understood mobile technology half as well as computer and network systems. So, this says you can use a messenger website, an app, or email addresses. Okay, and this is helpful. Why? It's foundational knowledge. The more important question is, how do you trace a number from an anonymous message in front of my screen? The top Google result is from 3 years ago. Not a good sign. Knox is quiet for a while as I read, and then he says, Maeve, if you're worried about unknown, then maybe you should just text back. There, those are harmless. Jules kissing Nate wasn't harmless. True, Knox concedes. But it could have been in different circumstances if Nate and Bronwyn were salt. She might have been annoyed at Jules planting one on her boyfriend, but she would have gotten over it. She wouldn't have been mad at him for it anyways. Or Jules could have picked someone else and made it into a more friendly thing, like a kiss on the cheek. His voice turns musing. Or maybe that would have been considered cheating the game. A window pops into my screen and I pause. It's a ping me alert. The website you're monitoring has been updated. I've been getting these constantly for Vengeance is Mine, both my laptop and my phone. I'm starting to regret setting it up. There's nothing useful, just a lot of creepy venting. At least Jellyfish seems to have calmed down lately. Still, I open a new browser tab anyway and type the familiar URL. This time there's a post by someone named Darkest Mind, and as soon as I see the name, I recognize it as the person who pinged my interest in the first place. The one who mentioned Simon and Bayview. Knox, I say eagerly. Darkest Mind is posting again. Huh? Who's doing what? On the revenge form, I say, and I hear Knox type through the phone. Are you still stalking that place? Shh, I'm reading. I scan the short string of posts. Here's to all of us who are getting shit done this week, and by us, I mean Bayview 2020 at me. Tip for the unintimidating. Don't screw with us. He's talking about Bayview again, I report. More specifically, somebody who has Bayview in the username. I'll bet it's someone who goes to school with us. Or now, this is just a thought, but hear me out. Maybe it's a Weird Simon fanboy who uses the name because they're a Weird Simon fanboy. Which we know because they're hanging out with a Weird Simon fanboy subform. Knox says. Take a screenshot of that post before hitting refresh. Are you being sarcastic? I asked mildly. I'm not surprised Knox isn't taking me seriously. Bronwyn didn't either until my research made national news on Mikhail Powers Investigates. Very. When the page reloads, I yell so loudly and triumphantly that Knox sets out a mudded ow on the other end of the line. Aha! I knew it! I say, my chest thumping with the excitement. There's a new post from Darkest Mind, and listen to what it says. I've always wanted to out Simon, and damn it, I think I have. More to come soon. TikTok. Tick freaking talk, Knox. That's exactly what Unknown says when they're getting ready to send another Truth or Dare prompt. It's the same person. Okay, that is admittedly interesting, Knox says. Could be a coincidence, though. No way. There are no coincidences when it comes to this sort of thing. You mentioned Simon, too, so there's that whole gossip as a weapon connection. This is our guy. Great. So now what? How do you find out who Darkest Mind actually is? Some of my excitement ebbs away. Well, that's phase 2, obviously, and I will get to that later. Noc's voice fades like he's holding his phone at a distance. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'll be right there. He turns at normal volume. I have to go. I'm at work. You are? I was surprised. Don't you have play rehearsals tonight? Yeah, but there's a ton going on until proven that my understudy could use practice, so I skipped. Nox says it like it's no big deal, but I can't remember him ever missing rehearsal before. Listen, babe, it's almost 6, so if you're gonna text back there, that would be the time. No way! I told you, I'm not playing their game. Even as I say it, though, I swallow hard as I look at the clock on my laptop. It's 5:59. I can't tell if Nox is answering Sai is frustrated or resigned. Fine, but don't say. I can't tell if Nox is answering Sai is frustrated or resigned. Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you.